Keating. I played Lieutenant Malcolm Keating. I played Lieutenant Malcolm Reed on Enterprise, as you probably know. And you are listening to the NX 7062 podcast. Enjoy.
Okay, so we are here, and I was actually having technical difficulties before I even started because I was playing around with too much stuff. But you know what? That's what we are all here for, you guys. Thanks for joining me. I am Transmissions from the NX 7062 podcast, and I am once again coming to you live from my kitchen, which you can't see because of a background. One of the things that Restream does is it actually lets me do two cameras. My browser kept freezing up and then my microphone failed. So if I'm echoing, let me know because I'm using the microphone. Hey, Travis. I'm using the microphone on the laptop at this point. I'm not even using what's cooking? That's a good question. Not much, Dave. Just trying to get through my very last episode. This is the anniversary of the original air date of that show that we tend not to think of as the finale of Enterprise, but technically it is, so that's why I picked today. But yes, today is the anniversary of These Are the Voyages. But yeah, so some tech stuff, stuff I'm going to work at over the summer. Like I said, I am using the microphone. I'm using the microphone on my laptop. So guys, let me know if there's like any sort of echo or anything, because the one that I had hooked up for the camera isn't working. And this actually might be the easiest thing to do. So I've got the microphone going. I can actually split screen the camera and use two cameras, which was something else I was going to try and do tonight. But after the browser kept stalling out, I decided not to play with the dual cameras tonight. I'll play with it later. Thank you, Lasso. So maybe I'll just leave it like this. Maybe I just won't get too cute and try and use an omnidirectional mic unless background noise at the convention gets too much. Then I might, thanks, Robert, then I might need to do something. But because right now it's very quiet. The only thing I got going on is the waterer for the cats. But it's going to be a lot noisier at STLV. So, yeah, I don't know. And I haven't yet had a chance to get AT&T to assign this puppy its own phone number. But once it does and it's on its own data, I'm hoping that'll work a little bit better than having it have to do Wi-Fi if it's got its own data. That's assuming that it works in the convention center. Hey, War Dog. Depending on where they put you in the vendor's room at STLV, I think has a lot to play with, and it has a lot to do with whether or not you have decent connections. If your table's at the end again, so many people around those corners. I would love an end table, but remember that wasn't my table. So, and honestly, that was a really on its own data. Ha ha ha. Cute Lasso. Look at you getting the Star Trek references. That wasn't my table. That was somebody else's table, and they lucked out. There was a whole big thing in that I was the advanced team in Vegas helping set that table up, and we got really lucky for a lot of different reasons, including the fact that I got to spend the entire weekend with Dave Zappone from 455 Films. But that's another story for another time. I'm trying to line him up as a guest for I would want one. Yeah. I honestly, Dave, the thing is it's my first year. There's a lot of things that I would love to see happen. I would love to be that close to the celebrities. But I really don't want to be like facing that back. I know it's technically the side wall, but I think of it as the back wall because when you walk into the vendor's table, it's straight ahead of you. I would really not like to be at that table. But that might happen. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. I know people at Creation, but I don't want to take advantage of it since, like I said, this is my first year there. There's people I would love. Pop Culture Hero Coalition comes to mind. Land of the Lost comes to mind. Hi, Kyle. Any place where I could be kind of any place where I can get a piece of the action, you know, so kind of near the celebs, so I can try and grab people. Try and grab people, but we'll see what happens. Not like I don't know. I've already who already told me they were going to stop by my table. Oh, I've got somebody from Roddenberry Entertainment lined up to stop by the table. I have to talk to some other people, so hopefully I'll have. And listen, I am randomly going to interview just guests of the convention. I'll just be like, "Hey, man on the street interview time." Dave, that includes you. You need to stop by the table for a man on the street interview because that's going to be so much fun. And so, yeah. Oh, and there's not as much as I love my background, you're actually going to see the back of my booth because I think doing the virtual background does take up a little bit of bandwidth or whatever. So the bridge isn't going to be there. You'll see the back of my booth. And like I said, if I can get the split camera to work, you will also be able to see people walking by. Yes, you better make yourself available. I expect to see you at my table many, many times to make me look busy. That's my goal. So I still have some stuff to do. Aiden had a yes, he did lasso, but I don't have anybody to be my booth bitch. I haven't decided what I want to do about that second seat at my booth. Hey, Jober. Aw. It's been nice seeing you all when I could join. Jober, it's always nice seeing you too. So thanks for popping in. It's always appreciated. Are you going to Vegas? Because it's going to be so much fun, and I'm going to have a table, and people need to. So yeah, I don't know, Lasso. I might not have a booth bitch for this one, but if I do make it to STLV Chicago, Lasso is going to be my booth bitch. Lasso is going to be my booth bitch if I make it to. I call it STLV. Trek Chicago. I already talked to Lasso about it. It's at the end of September, and Lasso's going to be my booth, bitch. He better be because you guys all have to come by and see him. New Jersey and Chicago are the two that I'm looking at right now. I would love to get back to Nashville. Lasso, that's what we should do. We should road trip to Lasso. You should just be my traveling booth, bitch. We should road trip to Nashville, do the Trek convention in Nashville, and then, go find a municipal building somewhere if we remember how to get there. Yes, I can't wait for Trek. And it's September, so I'm hoping it's not going to be, I don't know, Lasso, what's fall in Chicago like? Lasso's practically a native of Chicago. He lives close enough. So what's it like in Chicago around end of September? Because I always get this. Yeah, and then the November one's New Jersey. I'm really looking forward to New Jersey. It's up in the Meadowlands at this really great little. It's actually in a convention center, but it's surrounded by hotels. It's a great little convention center. Oh, cool! Hot, hot, hot. There we go. It's a scorcher, baby. It's a scorcher. I can't wait to do fall in Chicago, and I'll try and get in early. When I did Reed Pop's Chicago Con. Oh my God, I did not see the outside of the hotel and the convention center. It was all in the it was all self-contained. Hey JR, it was all self-contained, and I didn't get out to see Chicago, but if Lasso's there, then he's going to take me around. There's a restaurant that he's going to take me to. So, yeah, Lasso's going to be my booth bitch. So anybody who's going to Chicago might actually get to meet Lasso. Which means I might let him bring some of his comic books to showcase at the booth if he wants, because he is Magic Lasso. So, all right, guys, who watched Disco? Who liked Disco? I thought Disco was really good this week, especially because how could you not miss those beautiful tributes? The USS Mitchell was the ship. It took me a second. It took me a second. I'm like, Mitchell, I know I should know this. I don't know why it was last night. Oh, speaking of which, happy Mother's Day to everybody out there that celebrated, whether you're a 4-legged mom like me or a mom of 2-leggers. Happy belated Mother's Day to everybody that was out there that was celebrating. Yes, Disco was great, but the USS Mitchell I thought was really sweet, and the Bajoran, the Betazoid Doctor was Dr. Marina, and I went, that's 2. They got 2 in there. The Badlands, they're heading to the Badlands. Voyager's been to the Badlands. Some of our favorite Enterprise 4th season episodes have taken us to the Badlands, speaking of Data. So I'm still Miriam class. Aw, yeah, there you go. Yes, how to make a 7 of lime. That was awesome. That was freaking awesome. A 7 of lime. That was pretty cool. Absolutely. Yeah, the whole Mitchell thing was absolutely gorgeous. I thought that was fantastic. I still want them. They're still not going to Beta Z though. I'm like, can't we go hang out with the telepaths? Can't we please, huh? Can we? Still not. I had to study the brain because I had to go back to the Dominion War, which just shows how much we've learned about the brain between the Dominion War and 800 years in the future. Okay, but this is the one thing that really got me that I thought was like the coolest thing, and I don't know if they did it on purpose. I'm sure they didn't do it on purpose. I'm sure it wasn't, but it was just like the coolest little coincidence. That whole thing with the progenitor technology that they're like, oh well, they think it can bring back the dead, and I went, wait a minute. I'm sure this is a complete coincidence, but if anybody knows, Oded Ferrer was in both The Mummy and The Mummy Returns. Love those movies. Love Brendan Fraser. Love Rachel Weisz. Fantastic. And the guy that played The Mummy, and oh my god, Imhotep. The guy that played Imhotep. What's Dave's great idea? We should all submit ideas and taste test. Oh, Dave, that is awesome. That is awesome. Winner chicken dinner. Just bring it by my booth. You guys should anybody going to Vegas. Listen, you know what? You could always challenge a bartender in Vegas. The bartender at the iBar in Vegas, I told him I like sweet mixed drinks. He made me one. His name was Angel. He made it. It's called Angel's Kiss. Didn't bother to teach it to any of the other bartenders, so I could only get it when he was there, and it was so stinking good. Never told me how he made it, so it's lost. I hope he's there this year. I hope he didn't leave when they switched ownership. Anyway, so back to The Mummy. So The Mummy Returns. They had the Book of the Dead that brought Rachel Weisz back to life. So I'm thinking, oh my god! And now we've got Progenitor bringing people back to life, and Oded Ferrer's in it. So I just like, haha, Mummy Returns, which I'm sure wasn't intentional at all, but I just thought it was really funny. Okay, and I'm frozen. All right, let's see how bad this is. Yep. All right, now I'm not frozen. Okay. Did I freeze up for you guys? Because I watched myself freeze. The video froze. Yeah, and I'm on. I mean, I'm not right next to my router. I actually know somebody. I might actually be able to finagle a hotspot while I'm there. I just really want this poor thing to have its own data connection because I think that'll help the transmissions. A recipe for green milk from The Last Jedi. Oh, that's funny, Robert. That's funny. Of course they have. Of course they have. They had from Thursday. They probably started it the minute she mentioned it on Thursday on the episode, the minute somebody was doing it. Oh, yeah. I don't like milk. So anything that's got the word milk in it, just ugh. Unless it's cream. Like if it's some sort of like White Russian with food coloring, I could get behind that. Or I learned about this drink when I was hanging out at the Sheratons with some friends a couple weeks ago. And now I can't remember what the hell it's called. Colorado sugar. It's Colorado something. And if my phone was any closer, I would literally be texting my friend what it is. I don't want to send messages on this computer. I don't want it to freeze again. Oh my god, it's like a White Russian, but it's got root beer in it. What the hell? It's Colorado something, and it's really, really good. It's really good. But yeah, I want to find out what a 7 of lime is too. Absolutely. Was there anything else I liked about no, I think that's it. Disco's really cool. It's really good. I'll probably be posting off and on until it's done. I'm just not going to do this because this is officially the season finale so that I can work on more of these kinks. I've got the camera working. I've got some battery. This is another battery pack that's working really well. So might be a Colorado Bulldog. In fact, I think you're right. Lasso, I love you so much sometimes. You're awesome. You're right. It's a Colorado Bulldog. And it's really good. It's really good. You guys should try it. If you can do like a cream drink, because like I said, the base is basically a White Russian, and then it has a little pep to it because you put root beer in it, and it's really good. Thank you, Lasso. My booth bitch. You should put that in your thing, like Magic Lasso and then parentheses booth bitch for me. I don't know, and just like that coming back. I don't know, and just like that coming back before I leave for Vegas. And it looks really tasty. But I think getting some fan suggestions would be fun. Dave, I think you're absolutely right, because you know what? It doesn't exist. So it can be whatever we want to make it. We can make it whatever we want to make it. So I think we should definitely post them on socials, post them on social medias. I've been asking this, anybody that's interested in going to Trek Long Island, it is 2 weeks. I can't believe this. It's 2 weeks from Friday. JG and I are really excited for our second year. And anybody that's interested in going, I've got passes to give away. I can't believe nobody's taking me up on it. I've got passes to give away. So just reach out to me on socials. Rosie O'Donnell joining the cast. That's right. So Rosie O'Donnell's joining the cast, and some people that some characters that Lasso and I don't like are leaving. So I'm very excited. All right. So let's play. Since if we have to talk, if we're talking about non-Star Trek related shows, of course we've got to play 6 Degrees of Separation. So this can count. Oh, I'm done. Okay. This can count for either or, like this is going to count for Sex in the City and just like that. Stanford Blatch, may he rest in peace. Oh my God, now I can't think of the name of the actor who played him, but he was in the same Las Vegas episode as Dominic Keating. They're done. Just hooked up and just like that. And Sex in the City to Star Trek in one move, because the two of them were in. And it's a really cute episode of Las Vegas. 3rd season. I love Las Vegas. I love that show. James Caan was fantastic. But yeah, all right, done. Thank you, Lasso. Willie Garrison, the late great Willie Garrison. Thank you, Lasso. Appreciate that. Yeah, so it was Willie Garrison did both. So yep, done. Easy. That one was easier than I thought. Took me 2 seconds. Thanks to Willie Garrison. Wondering if there's probably another way to I could probably get Sarah Jessica Parker into Star Trek if I really sat down and done that too. Sarah Jessica Parker was in Square Pegs with the actor that played David in Star Trek 2 and 3. So there we go. There's Sarah Jessica Parker. Ta-da! Merrick, is it Merrick? It's Merrick something. But yeah, the actor that played David into it. The Flash, original. Okay, The Flash, the original John Wesley. John Wesley Shipp. See, but that's the thing. You're doing John Wesley Shipp, and I could jump right into. He guest starred in Flash, in the current Flash. So let me see. John Wesley Shipp. See, I don't know a lot of what he's done. Okay, here's one. Gotcha. John Wesley Shipp was the original Flash. Mark Hamill played the Trickster. Mark Hamill did episodes of The Big Bang Theory with yes, Kim Cattrall was in Sex in the City. So yes, Vulcan. Yep, she was a Vulcan. Absolutely. In 6. Very good, Robert. Mark Hamill was in the Big Bang Theory episode with, I believe that William, at least he was in the last episode of the Big Bang Theory, and we know William Shatner and Brent Spiner and, oh my God, Will Wheaton were all in the Big Bang Theory. So there you go. Thank you, Travis Merritt Buttrick. Yeah, he was in Square Pegs with Sarah Jessica. But yeah, there's an actual like 1-to-1 because I completely forgot about Kim Cattrall. Kim Cattrall was in Sex and the City, and she did a cameo in the last season of End Just Like That. Yes, he did. Park Hamill. That's right. He lost his dog. So yeah. So that all right. So there you go. John Wesley Shipp, a Flash. Mark Hamill to Big Bang Theory with a bunch of Star Trek people. Yeah. So that's pretty good. But yep, forgot about Kim. I actually thought Kim Cattrall made a great Vulcan. I did. I loved her in Undiscovered Country. I can't believe I forgot. I think I forgot because she sort of wasn't in And Just Like That, and that's kind of where my focus was, to be honest. But that also links up a friend of mine right to Star Trek because I have a friend that did some background work on And Just Like That. Oh right, yeah. I knew he died. That I did know that. I did know that he died from AIDS, and I forgot that he was in a couple of Star Trek episodes too. Yeah, I loved him. I thought he was adorable. That's where I knew him when I first saw him in Star Trek. I'm like, I saw him in Star Trek, then I saw him in Square Pegs, and I went, wait a minute, that's Kirk's son, because I think that was the order that they came out. What? You can't forget Kim. It was because of her that I watched. Oh, Kim Cattrall's fantastic. She's absolutely fantastic. She was in this great movie with Christopher Reeve called Above Suspicion, which was right before his accident, which I highly recommend, which I literally just found out late last week. Natalia, and I'm going to butcher her last name, that admiral she was the admiral in TNG, and I'm going to meet her at Trek Long Island, and I can't remember the admiral's name. I'm terrible. The admiral that was in Descent that I just watched, and I went, wait, I'm going to meet you. Natalia, oh my God, I can't think of her last name. You guys all know who I'm talking about. But yeah, she was in Above Suspicion with Christopher Reeve, and so was Kim Cattrall, and it was a fantastic movie. And Joe Mantegna was in it, so that puts Christopher Reeve. Christopher Reeve has a couple connections to Star Trek. He's got Above Suspicion, but before that, he worked with Tony Todd on a mini series that they were hoping when they were going to turn into a TV series called Black Fox. So Superman has a lot of connections. Superman also worked with Margot Kidder. Margot Kidder's niece was Osiris in Disco. Yep. Oh wow, JR is a true Kim fan. I loved Mannequin, the original. The second one was okay, but I loved Mannequin. What's his name that played Hollywood? God, I loved him too from Designing Women. Meshach Taylor. Hey, I got one. I got a name that popped into my head. Meshach Taylor was fantastic as Hollywood, and he was also really good in Designing Women. Because he worked with Kim Cattrall, that also puts Designing Women in with Star Trek. So, and I guess technically it does with Annie Potts too, because she's on Young Sheldon and Anthony on Designing Women. That's right. Very good. Lasso gets the point on that one. But technically I guess Annie Potts, because what's his face? Jim Parsons actually does voiceovers for Young Sheldon. So anybody that's involved in Young Sheldon is also now that degree of separation from Star Trek. To Kill a Mockingbird. I saw like the Gregory Peck black and white To Kill a Mockingbird. Lucy Lawless from Xena worked with Tony Todd. Did she? That's cool. I'm not sure I knew that. Wait, was Tony Todd in Xena? I feel like I should know these things. Tony Todd was in Xena, wasn't he? Or are you thinking of something else, Robert? Yeah, which would put Xena smack dab in right in line with Star Trek. Besides the fact the Xena conventions are also run by Creation. Love Xena, love Lucy Lawless. I think she's so stinking talented. What happened to Kevin Smith was tragic. I loved Kevin Smith, who played Ares. He was probably my favorite character. I thought he was fantastic. I loved Xena. I love the musical episodes of Xena. Lucy Lawless has got a great set of pipes. She's a fantastic singer. I believe she's classically trained in opera. So I'm trying to think. I don't mind playing Gregory Peck To Kill a Mockingbird with Brock Peters. Yeah. I just don't know why we're talking about To Kill a Mockingbird, to be honest, Travis. Is there a Star Trek connection? Because if there is, that's freaking awesome. And is Brock Peters it? I'm terrible with names. Like sometimes I'm better with character names, sometimes I'm better with actor names. It is a classic. Tony Todd was in Xena. He played. That's right, he did. Thank you, Robert. I thought so. When you said, yeah. Yeah, I love Tony Todd. I've seen a lot of what he's got something else coming out now, I think. I follow him on we follow each other on socials. So yeah, he's fantastic. He's such a sweet soul. I worked with him one of my first conventions. I got to work with him, and then I purposely stalked him at any other convention that he hung out with because he's a Patriots fan. So I loved talking to him about football. One time when he was here in Jersey, and it was I think we beat the Eagle. I don't know. I don't remember what it was, but it was an Eagles thing, and he needed me to back him up on some Pat stuff. So that was fun. Love him. Oh, speaking of cool, Bogman has been Ben Sisko, father, and Brock was the admiral in Star Trek 6. Thank you, Travis. I knew. So look at that. We've got a classic. We have got a classic To Kill a Mockingbird that has a Star Trek connection. That is awesome. Thank you, Travis. Appreciate that. So anybody that is in to talk to a real nice guy. Yeah, he's a real sweet soul. I love Tony. Anybody who's interested, anybody's in the Philadelphia area, if you haven't seen it posted, I will share. I think I shared it somewhere, but I'll share it again. There is a Jeffrey Combs film retrospective happening June 21st and 22nd in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, which is about an hour and a half for me. It's 2 days. It's the 2 days. It starts at 5:00 on Friday night, 10 a.m. on Saturday. And since Reanimator is Friday night and the rest of the stuff that I want to see is Saturday, I am probably right now planning on going both days. Can't wait. It's going to be Jeff's going to be there. You can buy tickets to just the films, and then he does some Q&As, or you can buy like meet and greets and all this stuff. What usually happens is I go see him at other things, and then I bump into him in Vegas. I'm like, oh, by the way, I went to your thing. That's what I did with that's what I did. He did Edgar Allan Poe a few years ago. I drove up to Sleepy Hollow, which actually is a town that does exist. It's about 2 hours from here, give or take, and it's fantastic. I love Sleepy Hollow. And he did his one-man Edgar Allan Poe show. Oh, can't forget that either. Good call, Kyle. Good call. Awesome. Yes, cannot forget that. So I went and I saw him do, and he was fantastic. The show was fantastic. I hope he does it again at some point, either at a convention. Did he do it? I don't think he did it. He did something last year at STLV, but I don't think it was Poe. Wherever he does it, but I hope he does it again. Jeffrey Combs is fantastic Edgar Allan Poe. And I didn't bother. I figured a lot of people were going to go try and say hi to him, and I had a 2-hour drive home. But that year, a couple months later, he was at Gallifrey 1, and I was at Gallifrey 1, so I got a chance to tell him I saw him do Poe. And then I found a Poe graphic novel at my local comic book shop. So I got him to sign it for me. I got his autograph at STLV a couple years ago, and I thought, wow, Poe, who goes up and asks him to sign Edgar Allan Poe stuff? So I thought that was cool. Speaking of, my local comic shop closed before Free Comic Book Day. I did not get my free comic books this year, and I am sad for that. So the other thing I am sad about is that YouTube took away 2 of my viewers somehow. So I am back down to 198. At least last time I looked, I was down to 198. So if you know anybody that is not following me, please get them to subscribe. I just want to get back to a nice round 200. Yes, it is very sad. No free comic books is very sad. I know, Lasso, you went and got free comic books. So you'll have to tell me if they were any good. And yeah, Kyle, that was a very, very solid connection. And anybody that has yet to meet Ethan Peck, you need to meet him. He is another fantastic person to talk to. Real sweetheart. He remembers me. I think he remembers everybody. Like, I don't want to just be like, oh, he remembers me. He remembers everybody he freaking talks to, I think, which is no mean feat. I think that's fantastic. I think it's absolutely fantastic. But yeah, so I can't wait for Strange New Worlds to come back. I think I'm going to be sad when Disco's gone just because I don't like endings. But I've said this before, and this season is going out on a high note. It is fantastic. I love the Vulcan. I love the Vulcan president where she's like, extradition. We need to do extradition paperwork. It's like Vulcans exaggerate really well in 800 years. Vulcans don't lie; they exaggerate. They think of things in the moment. So I thought that was fantastic. That she's like, extradition. Give us 4 hours. I thought that was great. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the brain. But I'd like to see Lal come back. Like maybe the progenitor will, because nobody dies in Star Trek. So maybe the progenitor will heal him. And this battery is not holding its charge as well as the one Dave Gregory got me, but I have used it more. So it's not as fresh as the one Dave Gregory got me. So I'm just glad that I'm stocking up on 3 battery packs. And I mean, I don't know, like I'm not going to be doing this solid for, and maybe this is the other thing. Maybe if I'm sitting next to a booth with somebody that actually has electricity, which I doubt, because electricity is really expensive. But maybe if I'm sitting next to somebody that's got electricity mill, you're like, can I just sneak in here and plug one thing in real quick? But I think 3 of these puppies will be enough for one day because I'm not going to keep. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Maybe I will get one more battery pack. I don't know. But like I said, this is why I'm doing this whole thing, and I'll probably be doing a couple more before I leave. I've got the only thing I've got lined up this summer right now is Trek Long Island, because I've just got a lot on my plate, regular work wise. I am taking off so long for STLV. Shore Leave had the nerve to put themselves on the weekend that I normally leave for my extra long Vegas vacation. So right now that's it. I've got Trek Long Island, and I've got the Jeff Combs thing that I'm going to do, which is going to be fun. And I've got STLV. I am really not conventioning much this summer. Got to save up, kind of save the pennies and actually work. Don't you hate it when real life interferes with your fandoms? Let's see. Travis Wood. Love to talk to Ethan about his grandfather and how he could have ruined his career for being into Kill a Mockingbird. That's interesting. That's an interesting approach. See, and that's good. Those are unique questions. And don't forget, one of my biggest tips for everybody with Convention 101 is think of unique questions. You will have a much more enjoyable experience with a celebrity if you can think of things to ask them that haven't been asked before. If you want to hear stuff that's been asked a million times, go sit on their panel. And you'll probably hear your question asked. But if you can think of a really unique one and you meet them in the vendor's room in the autograph line, oh, JR, I'm sorry. Yeah, I hate when real life interferes with stuff. Real life interfered with his whole 2023. But always think of those unique questions to ask. Don't. I mean, honestly, I'm not trying to tell you not to ask. If you have a burning question that you've never heard the answer to that has something to do with Star Trek, I'm not saying don't ask it if that's really, really, really what you want to know. I'm just saying if you want to have like a really cool interaction that's going to last longer, then if you can think of something unique, do that. That's usually work. I mean, do you like chicken? My unique question to singers. Do you like to sing? Lasso, you cracked me up, buddy. There was something on the heels of that about thinking of unique questions, and now I can't remember. Hey, ask the unique question in the panel. Make it better for everyone. Yeah, you could do that, but honestly, and this is just me. I tend to be selfish. If I'm perfectly honest, yes, if you can ask the unique question in the panel and then everybody will get to hear the answer. But if you ask the unique question when you see them at the vendor's table, now this is only for people that are in the vendor's room. Obviously, if it's somebody that's signing for creation, you're not going to really have a chance to talk. They're going to try and move you through. But if it's somebody in the vendor's room and they're not they don't have a lot of people around them, and you want to go up and try and like actually have a conversation, that's when you should ask the unique question. Because if you ask it during the panel, you get your answer, but you don't get the interaction. And I'm talking specifically about if you want to have like a meaningful extended interaction with somebody that's your absolute favorite, then I would wait and ask them at the vendor table, unless, like I said, they're signing for creation, then don't do it, because chances are you're going to get rushed through that line. But if the person you want to ask is in the vendor room, I would wait and ask them in the vendor room. Because like I said, it's for me. It's and sometimes those unique questions aren't of as much interest to everybody. I mean, Brent Spiner actually got more questions about Night Court in San Francisco. I was really surprised I wasn't the first and only person to ask him about Night Court, but I thought that was really cool. Rhode Island Comic Con in 2019. I met him at Trek Condoroga. Might have been 2019. Yeah, it was 2019 for me too, Robert, but it was Trek Condoroga. I met him at Trek Condoroga, and then I saw him at Rhode Island Comic Con in 2019, and that's where he said, "I remember you." That's what it was. I met him in Trek Condoroga, and then that's where we met, Robert. I forgot about that. I went because I wanted to go see John Glover. Yeah, he's fantastic. He's fantastic. Yeah, and he's usually at STLV. So he's absolutely fantastic. I think the other thing I am planning to do, I am not planning to keep my butt glued to my seat. I actually have an idea for like taking my phone and maybe doing some live video YouTube stuff on my phone. So that is also an option. And honestly, if Restream craps out on me, I might just do YouTube, which means no reverse cameras, but I might try to just do some straight YouTube stuff, because that might work better than all of the cool stuff that Restream does. I'm wondering if that's what's bogging everything down now that I'm sitting here doing some stream of consciousness with you guys. But before we go, I just want to kind of reflect back. I mean, this has been a really cool year. You guys have been amazing. I love coming out here and hanging out with you guys every Monday night. It's great. But I was just looking back. Over like all the stuff that I've done this year, some new things, some classic things, like my traditional my Halloween. I mean, you guys should let me know. I love doing my Halloween show because I love talking about Halloween Trek. Maybe, contract questions for Ethan. I would love to get Ethan on this show. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I would love to get Ethan on this show. But yeah, I'm not sure if he's ever done a show, like any sort of podcast or show. Probably. I just don't know how accessible he is. I have to find that out. But I had so much fun. I mean, we had Mark on in the beginning. You guys got to learn more about Erica, which was so much fun. I had Bonnie and John on. I think we're gonna have to make that a yearly event. I don't think a season of transmissions from the NX 7062 podcast will now be complete unless I have either Johnny or Bonnie with me on. Johnny or Bonnie, with me. I've never called him Johnny. I don't know where that came from. It's John. But yeah, I think I need to have them, at least one of them, on at least once a year. Obviously Trek Talks 3 for whatever God, it's 4 now. I think they're pretty sure there's going to be a 4th one. Unique question lead to Gates telling me about her nephew having made a movie. She told me about it, Pittsburgh, and I got to talk about it in Vegas. Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. You know what? I bet you, Travis, he would probably love to hear that. He would probably really love to hear that. That's awesome, Travis. But I think this year went really well. I would love to hear from you guys if there's stuff that you like from the show, if there's stuff that you'd like to see the show do, if there's any suggestions. I am open to any and all suggestions. Patrons, you guys all know where to find me on the NX7062 at Pajem. It's our little private Facebook hangout. So any of my patrons get first dibs at those Trek Long Island tickets. But anybody that's interested, let me know. It's in Hauppauge. It's gorgeous. It's Long Island. It's the weekend after Labor Day, or after Memorial Day, I mean. So I'm hoping it'll be quiet because I'm driving up there on Friday, and I'm hoping it's not too bad. See that? I am actually working on Bonnie. Bonnie is a hoot. You're absolutely right. Bonnie is just a hard get because besides being a working actor, she's also got some other jobs. If you guys follow her on any of her socials, you know she works at the Magic Castle. So Bonnie's just a hard get. I've talked to her a couple times about having her come on. It's just a matter of finding the timing. Okay, so my speakers got disconnected, but okay, the mics look like all right. So check. All right, is it back? It's back. Okay, oh, there it is. Mike's back. Okay, before I go, throwing some stuff up real quick. JG, don't forget, if you haven't already, please support JG and buy his Confessions of a Klingon Linebacker. I can only do one at a time, which sucks. But Confessions of a Klingon Linebacker, support JG. Yes, thank you. Thanks, guys. Yeah, the sound dropped out. Yep, the mic died. I got a little notification, but cool. Thanks, guys. Okay, so JG, buy JG's book. If you want a copy of JG's book autographed and you are going to pay shipping, you can reach me personally. Reach out to me on any of the socials and I will talk to you and I will get you a Square link because I can get it signed for you in Trek Long Island. I am more than happy to work on getting some books signed at Trek Long Island. So if you're interested in a JG personally autographed, he's bringing, I think, pretty sure he's just bringing hardbacks, and I can get you guys pricing for that. Let's see. I still have a couple things on my Amazon wish list. If anybody's interested in supporting the show, there's a couple more things I want to get to go to Vegas. I am going to have merch in Vegas too. I haven't decided if I'm going to make it, if I'm going to have Las Vegas exclusive merchandise. Maybe I haven't decided yet. But definitely gonna have some merch in Vegas. So that's why I need my little Square thing. So if you want to support the show and head over to my Amazon wish list, I would really appreciate it. I'm kind of like going through these really quick because we're winding down. Backer kit, Manhattan Transfer. The really cool is this. I can have. Oh, cool. Okay, so I can have these two up at a time. Okay, so the backer kit for this is Manhattan Transfer. This is the Bonnie Gordon project. Bonnie Gordon, Walter Koenig, Dominic Keating, John Billingsley, bunch of other Star Trek people, Tim Russ, bunch of other Star Trek people. They're looking for support so that they can film their pilot. So there's this one as well, and I know I'm like rolling through them. But you know what? People will hopefully see these on the We Rewatch and they can pause and rewind. So anyway, so that is Manhattan. One more, Anthony Montgomery's memoir. You can pre-order it. And I believe you can pre-order autographed copies, or maybe not. I don't know. I thought there was a deadline if you cannot make it to Vegas and if you can no longer pre-order because they're going to be released. I should have checked that before the show. And if you cannot pre-order Anthony's memoir, let me know. Because again, he's bringing some to Vegas. And if you can't make it to Vegas, but you really want Anthony's memoir, there is a FedEx store in the Rio. So if you want Anthony's memoir and you can't pre-order it, or you want a very specific autograph and you're not sure you're going to get it, let me know. I can talk to Anthony and see. But I'm sure he would sell me, like, I'm sure I could get you a very specific autographed copy of his memoir if he has them, and then just ship it to you right from the FedEx place in Vegas. So you know me, I love to do stuff for you guys. All you got to do is ask. You can find me on the socials. Y'all know NX7062 everywhere. Insta. I even have a Thread account, not that I use very much. Insta, Thread, Facebook, X, Twitter, whatever. You guys can message me any of those places and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. The one thing that I am not going to be able to do that I've offered to do in the past is take your questions, because I'm not going to be roaming around as much with my booth. And I don't know what actors I could flag down to interview with me like that. Because that's literally like, leave your table, come to my table, sit and talk. That's not going to be as easy as what I used to do in the past, where I like would walk around with my phone. I'm like, I just want to record a couple questions. That's easy. But taking away from your table so you can sit at mine is not as easy. So I am not going to be taking questions this year to go ask anybody, because I'm just not going to be as free to wander around the vendor room. So I apologize to anybody that had questions that they wanted me to ask of any of the actors. I can't do it this year. But you know what? Just be on the lookout. Make sure you hit that bell. Besides hitting those like buttons and giving me some thumbs up, hit the bell. Make sure you subscribe and ask for notifications, because the entire time, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that I am in Vegas, you're going to get little notifications when I go live, and I don't want you guys to miss the chance to maybe ask somebody a question. Thanks, Dave. I don't want you to miss the opportunity to ask people questions if they happen to be going live with me. So make sure that you don't just like and subscribe, but you hit the bell so you can get those notifications. Okay, guys, it has been a treat. I cannot wait to be back with you end of September, anytime around the whatever Monday ends up being around the 26th is when the season is back. But like I said, I'm going to be checking in over the summer, probably doing some more of these equipment tests, and I will be back with you full time in September. And obviously, I will see some of you at STLV. Anybody that is thinking about going to Trek Long Island and would like some tickets, please let me know. I have them to gift to you all. And Ed, hey, I know I'm going to be seeing you in Vegas, right? In fact, I wouldn't have a booth without Ed. So thank you, Ed, once again, for giving me the most amazing opportunity to go to Vegas. Travis, you have a great summer as well. I feel like this is the end of school right now. Fab time, Stephanie, be well. Yes, Chat Pack 7062. Yes, Chat Pack 7062 will be back in September, but until then, make sure, please, that you all live long and prosper. And until whenever, I do hope to see you around the galaxy.
Listening to the NX 7062